Alright gang, welcome back to something different. We're going to play Pac-Man. Yes, on the Atari. We're going to play Pac-Man. So here we go. And I'm going to just let everybody know I'm probably terrible at this. While I was born, in the 80s, this game came out before then. And lots of people have mastered it. I am not one of those people. So far, so good. But I wanted to talk about a game I've been playing, called, called Cards Against Humanity. And what a game. I was with a crowd checking it out some months back for the first time, and if you've ever heard of Apples and Apples, it's kind of like that. I couldn't quite figure out a game to play that was card oriented. I was looking for like Uno or something like that, but wasn't really feeling that. I was thinking about doing Tetris as well, but wow, it just faded off. I was thinking about doing Tetris as well, but just didn't do that either. Felt like I was abusing Tetris, if you will. So, anywho, it's like Apples to Apples, very fun game. It's got some suggestive cards in it, one of which is Pac-Man come guzzling, or something to that degree. Pac-Man guzzling come, something, absurd like that. That's the nature of the game. It's just how dark and twisted and sick is your mind and personality, and that can often lead to interesting results. Some people, depending on what cards they pick, the game can be funnier. Others, it can frustrate you knowing that they don't have the same sense of humor. And playing with two different crowds, one being an urban crowd and one being a suburban crowd, I'll leave you to put the two and two together there, what I'm talking about. Two different styles of game. And it made for a very hilarious experience. Matter of fact, I ended up buying the expansion packs, one of which is very absurd. It's more or less like the Pac-Man card I described. So every now and then you can get cards that you're like, oh man, this is a bad card. But it's all based on context. If you get a card that, it sucks, you might want to save it for a question that comes up. And hopefully it'll be a hilarious result when you get that. So how the game is played, you can look it up online. I just wanted to talk about some of the fun experiences I had playing it and needed a game like Pac-Man to go ahead and talk about it. I've lost a crap ton of lives playing this already, so this might be a brief playthrough, I don't know. But anywho, the object is to get as many of the black cards as you can. Man, they just got a lot faster on me this go around. Game over. This actually still kind of holds up, if you want me to be honest with you. Like, this is still a fun little time waster. But anywho, you want to get as many of the black cards as you can. You can set your own rules, like the most to get 10 of them or 7 of them wins. However, but up to 6 people can play. Very long-winded, the more people you have, but very fun nevertheless. So highly recommend that game. I think you can actually play it online now, kind of like an internet spades or something like that. You can actually do that now. So check it out if you can. You can also print it out, which is very expensive. A lot of trees getting chopped up for that, but just the black ink alone, I imagine, is going to cost you a pretty hefty penny, maybe even more than just buying the game online, eBay or something like that. So had an experience playing it at a cookout and they brought up my favorite card, which is pixelated Bukkake. It's almost like no matter what is played, I am going to pick that no matter what, because the immature part of me is going to laugh when I hear that being said. You know, the question could be, you know, in my pastime I enjoy, and then, you know, somebody might have silly answers like, you know, smoking a fatty or touching middle-aged men or something crazy like that. But, you know, then you get to the actual answer that I look forward to hearing, which would be pixelated Bukkake, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm just going to laugh. It just makes me laugh that somebody has the, somebody remembers it being pixelated. You know, of course it's Japanese, it's going to be pixelated because they're not allowed to show genitalia like we do in the pornography in the US of A and other countries. So with that said, that card was played, and somebody looked at me and was like, I thought it was called Bukkake. And it was just the hilarious thing ever. It's like, how do you look at something and not know how it's pronounced? Like, it was just funny. It's like, oh, now it's Bukkake. What the hell is a Bukkake? Is that something you can make in a store? Is it a cake with extra frosting? I mean, yeah, you can be disgusting and call it frosting, you know, call the semen frosting. Another game over. But it was just hilarious to me to hear the Bukkake on top of that. It's like, oh yeah, bro, that's Bukkake, bro. And to make it even more hilarious, one guy was playing and with his wife, and his mom was also playing. As one of the other. I'm not even paying attention at this point. She was one of the other 6 people we had playing with us, and she asked what it is, and then there was a huge debate on what Bukkake was. And one guy, you know, his wife, you know, she's Asian, didn't know what it was, is clearly not into, you know, porn like a lot of the men there were, I should say. But it was hilarious to see him actually try to explain to his mom what it was after everyone was like, you really going to try to tell your mom? You know, there's Google, there's the internet for that. But he just burst out of nowhere and was like, you know, this is what it is, and that's Bukkake, bro. And I told him I'd name this episode after that whole experience, but now I'm not so sure. I mean, I just got the YouTube partnership, and I'm not trying to risk losing it off of talking about gross things like this. But hey, hopefully if you're seeing this video, you're of age, you're 18 and older, or whatever the guidelines are for YouTube. So, yeah, Cards Against Humanity, check it out. So, with that said, we did play it again the next weekend. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be a hit amongst the crowd that I brought it with, but they actually loved it, man. They loved the game. It's one of the things people are like, hey, make sure you bring that game over. You know, we can actually just sit around and drink some beers and play, and it's really one of those games that you can just, in any setting, in any environment, people can come together and appreciate, because it's not the game that so much makes the experience. It's so much the users who were there with it, you know, their personality, their life experiences, and, you know, to be fair, how well you know an individual that can dictate the type of questions and stuff like that are poised, and the responses that people give. You know, it's like, hey, I know this guy and we grew up together, and I know he's going to laugh at X, Y, and Z, so he might think these things are funny, so I will play that, I'll play this. So anyway, I was just going to get that off my chest. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm probably not going to play this anymore. That'll probably be another game over. You're saying, oh no, I still actually have another life. And it's like it just moves to the left on its own. I don't know. But like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you next time. Until then, I'm going to make like a bad check and bounce. Another game over. Just another game over. Is it 10 minutes yet? Okay, there we go.